Hi, Sage Butterfly Designs. This is Penny. Welcome to my channel. This is mainly about cross stitch and my cross stitch journey to include some designs. Just started up a design business almost a year ago. Well, it has been almost a year. It was right around my birthday that I started it. So yeah, we'll have to have a special something next month for that. Maybe some extra giveaways or something, extra freebies. At any rate, if you hear a little bit of crunching, Bo is right over there crunching on a bone, so you might hear a little bit of crunching here and there. So, March is a no spend month. So far, so good. Well, cause of course it's only the 6th, so. Last month I did purchase my pre-order for the Nashville market, so I'm excited for that. I got the shipping notice today, so hopefully I'll have that by the end of the week. I'm so excited. Yeah, because I have nothing else to do, right? Yeah. Oh well. So I'm doing a 1 week video instead of waiting my normal 2 weeks because I did that 6 projects in 12-hour 6 projects in 12 hours over the weekend challenge. On top of that, I had some daily stitching, so it's like, okay, we've got quite a bit to show. Let's go ahead and do a video so that it's not overloaded the next video. So first, let's talk about my whips that are not part of the challenge. So these are just the whips that I stitched on during the week before the challenge began. So the first one is Bunny Garden by Stitching with the Housewives. This is such a cute little pattern. I think I'm going to leave out the garden sign though. The more I look at it, the more I don't like a little sign that says garden in it. So, but this is being stitched on, and if I forget to tell you what it's being stitched on or thread count or anything like that, it will be in the description below. I put all the whip information in there, but I'm going to try to remember. So this is, make sure it's in there. There's my little bunny. This is being stitched on 32 count lavender clouds, I think it is, by Fabric Flair. 32 count, and it is mostly called for, there's a few DMC conversions, but most of it is classic colorworks. Excuse my working threads here. Let me get them out of the way. And I mainly worked on the cabbage, so I got the outline of it done in the teas and biscuit, and then on this interior piece right here is the steamed broccoli, and then there's another green, I think it's pea pod, but I'm not sure what it is, but there's another green that's the rest of that filling. So I did that on one of my morning stitches. And another morning I wasn't really feeling too much into counting, so I had some fill-in work, and that was in this Christmas Eve by the Cottage Garden Samplery. Is that what it says? Sorry, I don't have my, samplings. I don't have my glasses on, of course, so I can't read or see half of anything I'm showing you. But I love the Santa so much. Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, I love it so much. That's like half my patterns. That's why I keep stitching on them, right? But before, I had, like, right here was the red, and the rest of the reindeer was just hanging out there. So I got the rest of that red done, and you see there's like little holes in there. That's for some extra little gold pieces. Let me pull it down so you can actually see it instead of holding it up where you can't. These are like little snowflakey things, designs. Those go over in this little area here. So I filled in all of that red right there. Or it's actually called Rosewood? Rose Garden, I think. Rose Garden for Gentle Arts. So yeah. So I got that done one morning. You're done with your bone already? You want to sit there and look at me now? The bone was this big. He's done with it. Okay, some more acorns by the Blue Flower. This is my Friday stitch, my Friday morning stitch. And as usual, I have working threads hanging out here, so let me try to move them. And this is where we are. Last time you saw it, I just had the vine done. So I did the leaves and I got one of the acorns started. So, and this is on 32 count exotic orchid. And see, I did forget to tell you what Santa Claus was on. Right? Actually, Christmas Eve. I call him Santa. Whenever I have my notes on the project, I'm like, Santa. He's the only Santa I'm working on. But this is 32 count twilight cashel linen. That's what that is. Are you coming over to say hey? You gonna say hey to everybody? You're just gonna sit there. To everybody your cuteness? Yeah? Okay. Tell me, you've been a little sneaky boy today? Sneaky, stealing? Yeah. This morning, I did the Little House Needleworks month of the year. I've been working on March. And here is my progress. Again, with the working thread. Y'all are used to my working threads by now. Just turn this over. It'll be easier for me to hold it that way. So last time you saw it, I had this portion done. And I started this morning on these flowers. And I got some stems and leaf over here. So I got to finish those up. There's 4 total. So I'm a little over halfway done there. And then there's only a little flower up here with March in between it. So very close to being done with that one. So that'll be good. What are you doing up underneath my chair? You got Rudolph? And I did a new start. That was not part of the 6 projects in 12. And that was the Glendon. Nobody wants to hear that. Let me have it. Give. Good boy. Okay. Sorry. This was the Glendon Place. It's called what's it called? Eggcellent Easter Scene is what its name is. And I started that one before the challenge. And there is one color in it. Oh, and excuse my nails. Like I just saw them in the camera. It's like, oh my gosh. I am like in desperate, obviously they're still Valentine's Day nails. I got them done before Valentine's Day and I haven't gotten them redone. I got an appointment this Wednesday. I was supposed to get them done a week ago and got busy. So I avoided that appointment and now I've got this. Yeah. So now my nails are like grown out. So please ignore my nails. But I got the sky, one of the blues in the sky done. So it's going to be a fun stitch. I'm looking forward to having that egg done. It's so pretty. Look at that. It's so pretty. So I can't wait to have that done. Okay. On to the challenge. That was all pre-challenge stuff. Well, the months of the year I did this morning, but the other ones were all pre-done. And obviously he's going to be visiting us. This video. I'm going to have to work on not being distracted by him. Okay, so 6 projects in 12 hours of the weekend. So I picked 6 projects to put in 2 hours each on. The first one I did 4 whips and 2 new starts. So the first one is a whip. Y'all recognize this one, Nora Corbett, Floral Dream. And I am going to put in a picture of where she was when I started before I started my challenge. So here it was before. And then here it is after my 2 hours of stitching. So I got a lot of the yellow done in here. And I think I got some stuff done over in here. Y'all see the picture. I don't remember anymore. So that is where she is at. I did 2 hours on Mirabilia's Lavender Mist. And this one is my Teresa Made Me Do It Sal. And I will put up a picture of where I was the last time you saw it. And here is where I got to. So I got this green. Well, actually there's 3 shades of green in there, but I got this section done that was empty. And then I got this falling petal right there. And that is what I got done in 2 hours. And I didn't like stitch all of them at one time. I like stitched for 2 hours and I got up and did something, and then stitched 2 hours, take him somewhere, stitch 2 hours, eat, whatever. So yeah, it wasn't all one thing. It was like stitch 2 hours and then off on whatever. Okay, and seeing as Saturday was the 4th, my patriotic stitch was in the mix. So I gave this one some love. Remember, I'm not doing the bird and I'm not doing the freedom. I'm just doing this thing right here. Oh goodness, he's got another toy. So hopefully that one's not too loud. We'll find out. My life, people, my life. I'm not complaining about it. I love it. Okay, so last time you saw it, pictures going up. So you'll see where it was last time you saw it. And then here is where it is now. So this here's that page break line just going across the top. So I finished up the rest of this flower and got the bottom part of these flowers. And then I started up on the leaf. So I've got a leaf here, and then there's a leaf down here. And then of course the star. So on this page, I'm just working down for that page there, because this was broken up into like 4 tiny pages, or actually they're huge charts, but it's broken up like that. So that will be my page finish over here on that. I've got plenty of fabric over there. I was tucking it up so you could see it. Yeah, so I'm really happy with it. I love the fact that that's not like super white. I like it being kind of a cream colored, whatever color that is. I forget what number it is. I'd have to look at the pattern, but I like that it's not bright white. All right, and the last of my whips is Spring by Stitching with the Housewives. And the last time you saw it is going up now so that you can see where it was. And here is where it is after 2 hours of work. We finished that little piece of flower that was left undone, and we got the majority of the house done. We still got to stick the door in there and the roof, and then of course we've got flowers on top of that. So, but we got the majority of the house and the rest of that little flower done. So I was gonna go ahead and get the door done, and I'm like, nope, 2 hours is up. You gotta stop. So I was good, and I stuck to my 2 hours, because otherwise I'd be like, oh, let's just get this door done. But I wanted to see exactly how far I could get in 2 hours, so I was like, nope. So that was that. Okay, the next one is new start. All my starts are new, aren't they? Goodness gracious, sometimes wording coming out of my mouth. The first start is the biscornu that I did for the retreat. I decided that I was going to do biscornu too. Here is, no, I'll do that later. I'll do that in my design section. Here is the mock-up. I did go ahead and print out a mock-up real quick. Here's a mock-up of how it's going to look, the whole pattern. And here is where I got in my 2 hours. So I chose a variegated thread, and again, I'd have to look at to see which one I chose. But I chose one variegated thread for here, one here, and then I've got another one for the center. But I decided to go with 3 different variegated threads. They're another Weeks dye works. I know I got clips go in the middle because it's really bright, and I forget what these two. I think this one's called Love, and I'm not sure what that one's called. I don't remember. Maybe Celebration. I don't know. At any rate, so here's where I'm at with that, and I am really enjoying stitching on this. So I'm definitely going to have this done. I don't know if I'm going to just do this one and then have a pretty fabric for the backing, or if I'm going to do the whole thing. And here I'll insert a picture of the other side if I did the whole thing. And I'm doing this on 18 count marble fabric flair. I forgot what the exact name of it was. Let's see if I have it written down. No, I didn't write it down. It's probably rolled up here somewhere. I'll find it and tell you the next time I show it to you. So it is coming together. I am loving it. I'm loving stitching on it. This one was another forced quit because I was like, I gotta do another one. Actually I had to leave and then come. We went to the lake. We took a boat to the lake. So I got some pictures of the lake for that. But yeah, so we went to the lake and went out for lunch and that kind of thing. And yeah, otherwise I would have still, and I was so tempted to pick this one back up. And I was like, maybe I'll just have one start and do 4 hours on it. And I was like, no, that wasn't my own rules of the thing. So the last one, and once I picked it up and did this one, I was so happy I did anyway. The last one I did, this was number 6, is the owl forced embroidery, and it's called Starlings. Sorry, those are my notes there on colors that I was choosing. So Starlings. And then these here are just my notes of what I wanted to put where, because it's kind of hard to do. It has the DMC floss here, but the other floss is in Russian. So I have no clue. So I was just going by looking at the picture and deciding what colors I wanted to put in there. And through my silks, I've got those pages of silks from my chatelaine. So I just grabbed those and I'm just using whatever seems to work best. And here is where I got. So I got the bottom part of the birdhouse, and then the roof is in the same color as that. And then I got the 2 birds, and then this is the birdhouse started up. I don't remember what each one is. I know this one, the birdhouse one, I know that one is lavender ice. Oh, it's a Gloriana. That's lavender ice. Yeah, Gloriana. And the bottom piece there's acorns, and I think that's a dinky dye, but I'm not sure. Might be water lilies, but it's called acorns, so I remember that much of it. I didn't write it down here because I had written down something else on here. The beak and the feet are in cottage slow, which is a dinky dyes. And the birds themselves, I grabbed something different. I wrote down one thing here, then when I was looking at the things, I grabbed something different out of it to make the birds. I forget what it was I grabbed, so I'll have to write that. If someone's interested, email me and I'll look it up, but otherwise I'm not really sure exactly what I was using. So all in all, I was excited. I think I got a lot accomplished. It was amazing how much I got done in 2 hours. I was telling Kim, because we were texting back and forth, and I was like, I think in the mornings I say, oh yeah, I do 2 hours every morning while I'm drinking my coffee. But I drink 1 cup of coffee, and then it's like I sit down and stitching, and I go get another cup of coffee. And because I've already drank 1 cup, that means you have to go to the bathroom and then go get the coffee. And inevitably, that's when somebody starts ringing his bell to go out and let him out and sit down and start to stitch. And then husband comes asking me what's for dinner, what's whatever. So the 2 hours is not a solid 2 hours. And I say, oh yeah, I stitched for 2 hours this morning. Well, I probably didn't stitch for 2 hours that morning. Sitting down and concentrating on one thing for 2 hours with very little interruption. It was like, oh my gosh, isn't my time up? And I'd look and I'd be like, oh, I got 30 more minutes. Okay, another thread. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. It was, like I said, my own little self-challenge, and just something fun and different to do to make it kind of a little more entertaining. Usually I pretty much concentrate on one or two things. Like I'll do like a morning stitch and an afternoon stitch, and that's it. And so again, if something else happens to grab me, then I might be like, maybe I'll start. Or, oh, I haven't touched this in a while. I'll just go grab it or whatever. But I don't kind of make a plan of hitting 6 things. And actually, I had 2 different things that got flipped out. So I was planning on doing my summer fairy. And I was going to work more on the egg. But I figured since it was already a new start, I wanted something different. So I went with the other new starts. But yeah, and instead of the summer fair, I figured I was working on enough of the other big pieces that I wanted to work on the other things. So yeah, at any rate, whatever. The design business. Let's touch on that just for a minute. I just sent over a new design. I'll insert right here. It is called Spring Bunny, not Fairy. It's not no fairy, it's a bunny. Look at it. Any rate, the Spring Bunny I sent over to Kim Murphy to test stitch it. So once I have some, she sent me one photo. She texted me a photo last night. She decided that I had 3 colorways for it. The original, which is what you see there. There's also a more pastel version, and there's a brighter version with different color options. So I did 3 colorways. And she chose the pastel one, and it's looking real good. So she sent me a picture just so I could see how those colors were coming together. And I didn't copy it to put it in here, so I'll have to wait till next video. I do have a couple patterns that are almost ready. One is a teapot. I got to finish up the spout and the handle. And I also have 2 summer designs. The summer ribbon is just about done, so that'll be ready. And I also have another summer design. And for March, don't forget that the Flower Power is what the freebie of the month. That one is only available for the month of March, and then I'll be removing it from the Facebook group as well as the website. So get that for the month of March. So download that. Links again down below. I showed you my Biscornu. Here's Artie's. She had hers posted up on Facebook inside the retreat, in the retreat group page. So here's hers. I'm sure she'll have a video out probably before me and showing it. But at any rate, there's Artie's, if you didn't catch her video ahead of time. And we have been having the gorgeous weather. I told you that last week. It continued on. We've been in the 80s. We have pollen, but I take Claritin and move on. Other than it getting all over my car, oh well. It washes. The Thursday and Friday I had elopements, and the weather was so gorgeous. I'm going to pop in. I only got one of each wedding pictured here, so it won't only take a second. But the second one is so beautiful. The azaleas are blooming, and it's just gorgeous. So yeah, it's been making my job as a photographer easy when it's so beautiful background. I decorated my buffet area. So here's some pictures of that. You'll see some of the FFOs. I know I showed you just like FFOs. It's like one thing for me to say, here's an FFO and show it to you. And then there's nothing to see it kind of in decorations. So here are some of those photos of that. I'll have them filtering through here so you don't have to continue to see my messy self. And like I said, Bo, I think it was Friday, I took him to the dog park. And usually when I take him to the dog park, we're the only people there. And they had like a competition course. I think that's the right way to call it. It's got the tires for a dog to go under or through, whichever way you want to go with it, because it's like the half tire, and they like go through it. And there's, about 8 or 10 of them in a row, so they like crawl through it. And then there's got like the up, and then like the thing goes down and they run down it. If you've watched any of those dog competition things, competition course, what's the word for that? I am like drawing a blank on the proper word for that. It's not competition. Oh well. At any rate, they have the and they have like the post for the dog to like do the weave thing through them and stuff like that. So we've been working on just some of his commands without those things. So we've been learning under, and we've been learning over and up. So he like jumps up on something and like sits there, and then so we've been working on just his commands without the course. And I was like, oh, let's go to the course and let's kind of put it into action so he can see, this is why Mama was saying under, this is why I was saying over, this is how we do this, this is around, go around, because right now he goes around me, but if I tell him to go around something, he gets a little confused. So I'm like, let's put it to work. So went ahead and went to the dog park, and there was another dog there, and I was like, usually there's no one else there, and I'm like, really, there's a dog there? I'm like, well, we'll go ahead and go there, and like maybe the other dog will leave, and we can train. Or there's like, it's pretty big, there's like 2 little courses, so I'm like, well, maybe I'll just take him to the other side or something. Well, instead they started playing, and they were playing and playing, and it wore him out much more than me training him would, because he was just so worn out from chasing the other dog and running and playing. And yeah, so I got a couple of videos. I'll put it at the very, very end. So after I say goodbye, if you want to watch the videos, they're there. If not, that's fine too, And it's not a channel about my dog. It's a life update because he's pretty much my life, but hey. And then on yesterday, we went to the lake. That's just what I was telling you earlier. We went to the lake and walked in. There's like a walking path, and then you go to the lake, and took some pictures of him with his toes in the water. And yeah, he had a good time. So he didn't get too wet. He just got about this far up his paw. Just barely got the little paws in there. And I was getting some water and stuff. And since it was a lake, he could drink that. But yeah, so I got a couple of pictures of Bo. I'll have them filtering through as I'm talking, blabbling on and on. But it's going to be a short video. I thought it was going to be longer than this, but that's okay. Since it's an off week anyway. And I don't know if I'll come to you next week or if it's going to be 2 weeks from this week. I don't know. It depends on how much stitching I get done and things like that. I'm trying to get myself worked up to doing some more FFOs. I've got several finishes that are sitting over my pile, and I'm like, I need to FFO. I think once I get that March one done, that March months of the year, I think once I get that done, that will encourage me to do some FFO, because I want to get that FFO so that it can be out on the display. I'd like to have spring done, but that's probably going to take me to the end of the month to finish stitching up that spring, and that's fine. Yeah. So that's all I can think of right now. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope some of this nice weather gets out to some of you out there that have not had the nice weather. And have a great week. And like I said, I'll see you in a week or 2. Bye.